Welcome to the Loyalty Program Builders podcast, where together with the top industry experts, we discuss business and technical challenges of implementing and running loyalty programs. Loyalty programs are complex. That's why together with our guests, we make difficult processes easy to understand and provide actionable steps to reach your loyalty program goals. Subscribe to our newsletter and become a part of a community dedicated to loyalty program excellence. Hey everyone! This time we're discussing marketing technology in the FinTech sector. The goal of this episode is to explore the challenges and opportunities in creating an effective marketing tech stack in 2024. Joining us is Robert Boguszewski, a principal architect at IG Group, a leading global fintech company offering trading and investment opportunities worldwide. With over a decade of experience in development, solution architecture, and consultancy across various industries and global contexts, Robert has a wealth of knowledge to share. He has been delivering innovative solutions and enhancing user experiences through technology in projects such as the Smart City Retail Location-Based Services Platform and initiatives like ISA Cloud, JetBlue Badges, and Ford Pass Rewards. So without further ado, here's Robert. Hi Robert, great to have you on the podcast.
Hi, hello, thanks for having me.
Today we are going to talk about really exciting things because we are going to talk about building a great marketing tech stack in FinTech. So my first question is very general. What is the role of technology in FinTech?
The technology in FinTech is disruptive if you take a look for all of the things that's happening over the last couple of years. Because if you're thinking about finance, and especially in the traditional finance like banking, people in most of the cases understand what the account is and what is behind the account, how to make a transfer. But if you take a look on your mobile application, you will find that there is multiple other things that are available for you just because you are a client of the bank. So the technology changing a lot of areas, how we using banks and how we thinking about banking. So you can see that there's traditional banking, but there's a digital payments, there's digital investment. So if you take a look for the startups like N26 or Revolut, that basically change our the way how we're living over the last couple of years, how we travel, how we thinking about the financial services. So it's not longer the money and the transferring the funds, but also kind of insurance, tickets, exchange of the currency, or just a simple buying a ticket for the train if you would like to travel abroad. So all of the things that happening in the mobile application, which means that it's very tight connected with the finance, in most of the cases with personal finance, but opening quite new opportunities for you. So you can easily travel, but you can also invest. So you can decide if you would like to invest in some kind of instruments that are considered as a safe, or take a look how the trading looks like and enter to the most risky instruments and enter on the market and start to trade. And all of the things happening through the technology. So the best example that a few years back, someone that was trading was considered as a person that buying and selling shares after a week or after a month. Right now, trading is basically something what's happening instant. And if you're buying something for more than a day or two, you are not the trader, you are investor. So the technology giving you access to the global market and giving you this access instant based on the very basic information that financial institution can collect about you.
Okay. This is incredible that you are an investor if you think long term, and this case long term is 2 days.
Yeah, so right now, yes. So because buying and selling shares is right now extremely easy, like I said, through the mobile application. So if you in the bus or in the train and you're using mobile application, you can decide to buy stocks of Tesla or Microsoft, whatever. And that's just something what can happen on the morning. And when you're coming back to after work, you can sell the shares and collect all of the extra cash if the day was good.
Cool. Thank you. So if we could also get into the specifics of FinTech. So, what are the characteristics of this industry that actually impact building the right marketing technology stack?
The characteristic is the very high regulated type of the business. It's a very high regulated market. So we're starting with the finance. So if you asking someone for the very basic information like first name, last name, and the email, that's not enough for the financial institution, which means that we need to ask you for the more information. We need to do the verification as quick as possible. So all of the automated kind of face scanning or verification of your documents, checking bank statements, and all of the things have to happen automatic. So on one hand side, we have to collect a lot of information about you. On the other hand side, without the technology, it won't be so easy, and it will be very, very complex process. So the first is the question: how good you know your client, your customers, and if you have to know it good, because you need to follow the regulators' requirement, and making sure that you understand your clients very good. Once this happens, you need to understand what is the risk appetite of the specific customer and what kind of things you can offer. And right now, all of the things, all of the, let's say, customer journey that you can easily draw is based on the technology. So in the past, you need to go to the bank as a building and show your ID card. Right now, we're scanning your face, checking your documents. Maybe through the other financial institution, we can make sure that you is you and how much we can trust you as a customer, and that what we can open, what kind of products we can offer you. On top of that, we have all of the MarTech, and MarTech is the different perspective of the customer journey, because it starts much easier in the moment when we know nothing about you, when we put in advertisement in very broad way, and through the Facebook, through the social media, through that kind of stuff, when we know a bit about you, but we still don't have very detailed information. And later, marketing also supporting onboarding process. And once we can confirm that you are our customer, we're discussing about products. So, like I said at the beginning, product is not the bank account or the credit card that allow you to pay for something. Products are much more broader, and all of the steps are supported by the fintechs. So, if in your company you have set of departments responsible for the different areas, part of them are close to the customer. Some of them are there, let's say, sitting behind in the second row, but also checking if there is no any cases like money laundering or any frauds. And the one thing is that we identifying something, and the second thing is we have to confirm if this is really happening and how to communicate with the client, because MarTech technology giving you possibility to manage customer journey in very automatic way and prepare for the multiple scenarios. But if you take a look on the customers, is quite nice. It is to tell that Pareto rule apply very, very good. So there is 20% of the customers that you have to focus, because they are most important for your business. So without customers, maybe you need to communicate in the different way.
Cool. So from what I understand at this moment is, like, first of all, you have this complexity because, as you said, like, you need to be aware. You said like who your customer is, but you also take a look from like the point of view of regulations. So if your business is global, it's going to be probably not that easy to use one system to connect everyone, but you need to take under consideration customers from like, all those different places that are regulated in a different way, right? And then what you do with this data that you have, so you have this sort of like opportunity coming with understanding, as you said, the Pareto rule. Like if you understand the 20% of your most active, engaged, lucrative customers, right, then you will be able to turn those interactions into 80% of profit, of revenue, let's say. So what I can hear like right now is like, this sort of like complexity, but also huge opportunity if you do it well, if you actually connect the elements of the system in the right way. Am I right here? Is it like would you agree with this?
Yeah, definitely I agree. Especially the one thing is that you have to understand your customer, but the second thing is how to collect all of the information about your customer activities, because that's the source of the information that is the most important thing from the marketing point of view. Because if you starting to understand behaviors of your customer, you can much better build your marketing strategy and build proper technology stack. So we're starting with the customer, but the most important is the number of the activities that you can collect about each of the about the customer itself, because that will drive how you build your technology. So you have to understand the amount of the data, how fast you need to process the data, and like I said at the beginning, which department going to use this information, and what is the specific way how the department going to use. And on top of that, we have regulations. So to be honest, right now is no one considering right now one country as the area of the interest. The people used to considering region or starting to go global from the very early beginning, but with that assumption, it means that, for example, in Europe we have GDPR, which is well known, but in different countries there are different versions of the GDPR, which most of the cases means the similar, but the implementation may be very very different. So you may need to, for example, store your customer data in the specific country because that's the local regulations, or you need to align with the procedure of the data anonymization in the very very specific way. Which means that one tool, one component in your marketing marketing stack is not enough. So you need to align with the local regulations. And so on one hand side, you would like to go global, but have all of the operations in one place. So you need to have local companies that going to support you, or you need to have proper marketing stack that going to handle all of the information. All of the things are changing. So it's not that you buying something and you have answer for all of your questions. In the past, there was GDPR, like something what was disruptive, and recently, so in the next year, we're going to have challenge with the way how browsers supporting third-party cookies. So it's always something changing. So you have to understand your customer. You have to understand what kind of activities you can collect about customer and what you can do with that activities, not only from the perspective on the terms and conditions and all of the agreements and consents that you collecting from your clients, but also the local requirements, how you're processing the data, and what kind of communication you can trigger based on the client activities. So it's a very broad topic. It's better to go region by region, not go global by default, because it will be always a challenge.
Okay, So thank you for clarifying that, because now from this perspective, it's like the role of marketing technology is actually to be able to analyze the whole customer journey, or actually to understand potential customers before they are users, and to be able to identify those 20% as soon as possible. Like, I mean, I'm referring to the Pareto rule, like that you, with the right marketing technology, you can identify the 20% of your, let's say, most engaged customers right away from the very beginning, and then you can understand it in a broader context. Yeah, do I understand correctly?
Yes, you understood it correctly. So there is like thousands of the tools that you can use that's available on the market, but you need to understand who is your client. First you're starting with the vision of the customer, and that's the starting point. And then you're checking how your technology supports that kind of customer. Of course, you have to learn. So it's never the exercise that you're doing once. You need to do it multiple times, which means that you building your technology stack requires from you to be flexible and to check if your technology stack is future-proof. So by default, we're not assuming that it will be one tool, even if you're going to the Salesforce or HubSpot as a, let's say, big provider that should be covering all of your needs. But you rather looking something what it will be most customizable according to your specific business requirements, and trying to identify all of the APIs, so how the system going to integrate and how they're going to exchange the data. On top of that, of course, there's data protection, making sure that they can operate in the scale that you expect.
Mm-hmm. So this is incredible, because as you've mentioned, we have over 1,000 products when it comes to markets. Marketing technology is like, a vast field. So even doing the research of the basic tools requires time and effort. So I wanted to ask you for advice. Like, how do you deal with this complexity? Because, there are so many different piece of vendors, and like there is software for every niche. So how do you make sure that you actually can compose the right stack and you build the kind of marketing technology that fits your business needs?
So from my perspective, as a person that working with the other teams, with the other companies to understand their business and then to suggest them something or build architecture for them, we asking about two things by default. So as a starting point, first is what are your functional requirements, and second, what are your non-functional requirements. So from the functional requirements, there's the first question to the client, how they understand the business. My best tool that I'm using when I'm trying to do the first workshops with the client is the tool that is called event storming, and event storming is the framework, workshop based framework that allowing you to identify the domains, the context, and the boundaries between them. It's the very lightweight tool. So you just need to have all of the stakeholders in the one room. Of course, you can do it online, but in person is much better. And when you're trying to understand how the customer journey looks like and what are the dependencies. So we have stakeholders from the different departments. You have subject matter experts that can explain how the things work or expect how the things should be working. Sometimes is the first time when all of the departments talk to each other, that's the first advantage of the kind of exercise. The second, using only the white yellow sticky notes, which means that there is no need to prepare upfront. We just timeline trying to put all of the sticky notes and understand how the process from the onboarding, then offering the new products, communication, all of some specific requirements for the business, how it looks like. From my perspective as a person that facilitates that kind of meeting, the most important is to take a look on the faces and see who would like to not agree with the discussion that's happening, but for some reason not deciding to take a voice. So that's the first thing. The second quite useful thing of that.
So I just wanted to explore it a bit further, because why is it so important to actually search for those people who you feel that they probably, they don't look like as if they agree, but they perhaps are reluctant, that they don't feel comfortable with sharing it on a sticky note. So why is it so important to be very, cautious about these people?
It's because in most of the cases, knowledge is not written in some kind of documents, or of course can be written, but is hidden inside the people's heads, people's minds, and that's the reason why you need to find the person that really understands how it's working, is as close to the process, as in most of the cases, as close to the customer as is possible, and know something what may not be obvious for everyone. So to give my best example is that when we're doing kind of icebreaker at the beginning, we discuss how to brew a coffee or how to brew a tea. You can imagine that you think that you understand the process very well, but when you're starting to discuss, there is always there's one person that is kind of freak that knows much more than you. So it's the quite eye-opening exercise. You know who really knows the process. Yeah. So sometimes people just talking a lot, but do not understand the process very good. But there's always person that may be shy, maybe don't want to discuss the same thing 1,000 times and not taking a voice. But the knowledge is within that person, and you need to understand it. So you're starting with the people that would like to describe the process. They're writing something on the yellow sticky notes. And when you're going into details, it's not easy to modify the sticky notes. So you need to take it from the wall or from the whiteboard. And at the end of the exercise, you have plenty of the yellow sticky notes that need to be thrown away, so they are in the trash. And by default, there are wrong decisions, because at the beginning we assume that everything will be very simple, or we never go global and we don't have to take care about specific like Japan or United States requirements. But someone just to prove us that we need to start to think about that from the very early beginning. So after one day, of course, there is not easy kind of exercise, but you ending that kind of day with the big picture that you know what's going on with the company, where they feel comfortable, what are the areas that are hotspots, which means that there is lack of knowledge, or there are two or more persons that cannot agree how the process should like. So of course you need to mark that places and do kind of follow-up exercise in the smallest team. But you ending with the vision, how the process look like, what the domains, what are the bounded contexts, and how the system should integrate to make sure that the process is running in the proper way. In other way, you see the process or part of the process, and you can start to map technology. So how we collecting data about customers, what is the customer data platform that we should use according to all of the things that we discuss, etc., etc. So I would say is very eye-opening and very very nice exercise for everyone. Of course, people may argue but at the end there is that kind of feeling that we achieve something what is important, and we align, we have the same understanding of the same things.
Yeah, I mean it's great, and I can already imagine different scenarios where I would myself use event storming just to, first of all, you have this context to get everyone together. So as you said, there are situations where sometimes it's the first moment where everybody actually has the opportunity to meet and disagree on something, clarify everything. I really like the example of the icebreaker, because as you said, if you ask how to brew a tea, it might sound really simple, but there are people who have probably tried and tested water in certain degree level. Let's say that if you pour 92 degrees Celsius water over tea, it brews a different tea than if you pour 98 degrees. So I totally get this concept that on a surface level, we can agree on pretty much everything, but it's the detail where we actually need to discuss if we do this or we do that, right? Or what is the approach? Is it according to the strategy? So thank you so much for bringing that in. So this framework is called event storming, right?
Exactly.
And then you get this understanding of the business. What about the technology? Do you have any sort of framework that you use for building the technology?
Yeah, so within the company there is used to existing framework that you can use. So it's very, let's say, heavy frameworks like we're using for architecture, like TOGAF, which is nice, but it's clear that to say that is heavy. If you would like to use something lightweight, from my perspective, it's quite easy to take checklist from Amazon Web Services or from the Google Cloud. They're having something what is called architectured framework, which focus on the 6 pillars, starting from the resiliency to the data protection to the security, cost optimizations, and that kind of quite obvious things but you need to rise and making sure that at least there's checkbox next to the specific item that you can mark. People used to focusing on the very small area when discussing about technology, and that kind of frameworks allowing you to take a look on all of the technology estate from the very, very high level. Of course, it's easier if you're going to use public cloud, but it's not something what is mandatory when you're taking of that framework. Especially if you take a look on the multiple solutions from the marketing stack, you used to trying to check the capabilities, but also take a look on the kind of service level argument or how they what they thinking that they be able to deliver it to you. But recently, maybe not recently because it's years back, but it's changed for the different kind of metrics like service level objectives and service level indicators. So if you have existing framework within your company, probably you may not be able to easily align with the approach that new modern technology providers offer you, because they would like to be more agile, more focused on the providing you new capabilities in the frequent way, but it will be required from you to align and better prepare process of the managing of the technology on your end. So again, it's not a one thing that you can choose, but if I would suggest you to start with the something what is there, what you can easily pick up and start to implement, you can start with the any well-architectured framework from the, let's say, leading providers.
Okay, thank you. So to sum up our episode, I wanted to, let's say, go back a bit because at the very beginning, when you described the industry like FinTech and the characteristics, you said that disruption is definitely one of the things. And then I wanted to ask you about future proofing, because there is this idea in marketing technology that you want it to be future proof. So we understand and we see that the reality around us is constantly changing. So what would be your tip? Because I believe that our episode is going to be the last episode before the new year. So what would be your tip for future-proofing your technology, at least for 2024?
The simple answer is that there's not possible to have one technology that will be supporting all of your cases. So to be a future-proof, you have to understand your clients, which means from the technology perspective means your data, and you have to have understanding how you integrate between different products, which means that you have to understand your APIs and how they exchange the information. API can be, of course, real-time or batch or event-driven, but it's still the API. So if you understand what's happening between the two components to services, it means that you're going to understand the whole estate in very high level. But if you would like to change anything in the future, maybe transfer the data, maybe modify one of the components, it will be extremely easy, because that's the API is the way how you can build a documentation about your software, and the way how you can pitch for any changes if you would like to build something from scratch or take new solution out of the box. There is AI things like ChatGPT that you would like to integrate. There's this change that I mentioned about third-party cookies. All of the things causing that there's in 3-4 years there will be for sure something what will require change in your technology, and you need to understand which part of the technology is responsible for the central capabilities and how to modify them.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge. I'm pretty sure that this episode is going to be really interesting for our audience. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that it's just the first episode of many in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I would, and like you said before, we're recording before the Christmas, so have a great Christmas, New Year time, and yeah, and don't think too much about technology. Technology is there and will be waiting for you in the new year for sure.
Brilliant. Okay, so Merry Christmas and see you next year. Awesome. I really hope you found this episode as inspiring as I did. I'm sure that Robert's insight will help you navigate the complexities of your industry and make the most of 2024. I want to thank you all for tuning into our podcast this year. I like this content format and plan to experiment with it some more. While you can expect some changes next year, one thing will stay the same. We want you to be part of this journey. So please send us your feedback and topic suggestions to help us shape our future episodes. Now, let's wrap up with a few action steps. First, if you enjoyed this episode, help us grow by leaving a positive review. Second, share your thoughts with us using the Q&A feature or by sending an email to podcast@openloyalty.io. Third, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter for more valuable content related to the podcast. I wish you a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year. The Loyalty Program Builders podcast is brought to you by the team at Open Loyalty, the world's most flexible loyalty software for creating personalized loyalty and gamification programs fast and at scale.